my chips. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6 stacks. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich. I'm rich. Look at my chips. Yeah. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich. All right. Good morning, guys. 1 second, real quick. Let me just make sure I got this screen thing in place for you guys. Technical difficulties, but one. All right. You guys should be able to see my screen now. Great morning. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, of course, what we trade, and then we're going to get into how we trade it. We're going to talk about the trade that we took yesterday, what's going on in the markets, how we can leverage, different resources to make more money out of the trading process, and how we're going to take advantage and see if there's any opportunities for the market today. Okay, so today, of course, like every Tuesday at 8:45, we trade NASDAQ, all right? And so NASDAQ, for those of you all that aren't familiar, it's an index that caters to investors interested in innovative, growth-oriented companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and others, offering a diverse selection of industry leaders driving economic progress and technological advancements. And so these are some of the companies that most people are familiar with when it comes to NAS. And of course, we already talked about Apple and Microsoft, but we have Comcast, Adobe, we have Ross, Monster Beverage, Cintas. Okay, so a lot of companies that you all are pretty familiar with. NASDAQ is comprised of these companies, and we trade the performance of how it affects the market on a day-to-day basis. Okay, all right. So let's talk about how to actually trade NASDAQ. Okay, well, how we actually trade NASDAQ. Okay, so if we're looking at this, okay, I always say the first thing you want to do. Happy New Day, Mary. Happy New Day. Glad to have you. Okay. So if we're looking at this, the first thing you want to identify when you are trading, it doesn't matter what strategy you're using. You have to identify the market conditions. You can't trade using a trending strategy in a ranging market, and you can't use a ranging strategy in a trending market. They just don't work. So you have to be able to identify what conditions you're in and then address it from there. So it's like basically paying attention to the weather when you go outside. Like, you're not going to go out wearing shorts and it's 30 degrees outside. Okay, or you're not going to go outside and it's raining without an umbrella. So you want to know what type of conditions you're in so you can be prepared and move accordingly. Okay, so what are those market conditions? There are 3 main market conditions. Okay, and when we look at that, we talk about, we have our consolidation. Okay, so consolidation just basically means that the market or the candles are just choppy. They're moving back and forth like that. Okay, that's consolidation. It does not matter what type of market condition you're in. If the candles are moving back and forth like this and they're choppy, do not trade in these type of market conditions. You're setting yourself up to have low probable trades. I'm not saying you can't win, but there is a low chance for you to win when the market is in these type of conditions, because it just doesn't know what type of movement or direction it wants to move. Okay, so that's the consolidation. Now, the next market condition is range. Okay, with a range. So a range is a bit different. So when we're looking at a range, and I'm going to show examples of these market conditions before we get into the rules, I'm going to show the examples of these market conditions on the chart. Okay. So with a range, you're going to see more of a, I'd say, roller coaster movement. Okay. And so it looks similar to like this. It's kind of up and down, nice little flow here, right? And so with the range, you'll see that it's repeated buys at the bottom of the range, and there's repeated sells at the top of the range. Okay, so we already know with sales, we want the direction of the market to go down, but with buys, we want the market of direction to go up. Okay, so that's range. Now let's talk about trends. Okay, so with trending markets, it's two different types. You have your uptrend, where you can clearly see the market is trying to move up. You have higher highs and higher lows. Okay, higher highs, I'll talk about that as well, and then higher lows, I'll talk about that also. And then you have downtrends. Okay, so with the downtrend, you can clearly see the market is trying to move down. So you have lower lows and lower highs. Okay, all right, so that's a downtrend. So when we look at the market, the first thing we want to figure out, okay, what are we dealing with today? Are we dealing with a range that could potentially break out, or are we already in a trend? We already know with consolidation, we're not even looking to take advantage of that. Okay, so I want to show you guys how it looks on the chart when we're in a range, when we're choppy, and then when we are in a trend. Okay, so let's identify that together. I'm gonna go to the chart here, and you guys should be able to see my chart now. All right, awesome. Okay, so let's hide all of this other stuff, and I just want you guys to see a clean chart. Let's get rid of all of this stuff for now. Okay, let's get rid of this. All right, so now when you're looking at this, let's get rid of our EMAs too. Okay, so when you're looking at this area right here, I'm gonna circle it so you guys, I'm gonna put my pen in yellow so you guys can see. Okay, this area right here is consolidation. Notice how the candles are just choppy and then moving back and forth, right? You don't want to trade in these type of situations right here. This is consolidation. Okay, that's how it looks on the chart. All right, so that's consolidation. Now range, let's see if we can find a range. Okay, so here's a little range example here. All right, so if we look at this, we can see between these areas right here, okay, price was ranging. Okay, so it came up here. What did it do? There was resistance. We'll talk about resistance in a minute. And it sold off. Came down here. What did it do? It found support. Kind of bounced a little bit. Found support again. And then what did it do? It went up. Came back near this area. What did it do? Found resistance. Sold off. Came back to this area. What did it do? Found support. And then it finally broke through. So one thing to know about a range is that it will never range forever. At some point, it has to break out. It has to break out. Okay? So, again, the buys are at the bottom where we see support. So remember, support is the best situation for buys when you can find support. Okay? So if you can find support for buys, that's a great situation. Okay? If you can find sells, if you can find resistance for sells, that's a great situation for sells, okay, for resistance. So if we look at this range right here, our resistance is this ceiling right here, okay? Remember the ball analogy. If you throw the ball towards the ceiling, the natural reaction is for the ball to bounce down, okay? So everything up to the ceiling, price resisted to move past this area. So it retraced back down. Okay. Now we have support. So support is like your floor. So if you, with the floor, use the ball analogy, you throw the ball down to the floor, okay, and then price bounces up to the upside. Okay, so if we look here, we can see when price came down to the bottom here, price bounced to the upside here. Came here, bounced to the upside, came here, bounced to the upside. Found support. So buys are most conducive at levels of support, and sales are most conducive at levels of resistance. Okay? That's very important. All right, especially in the range. They're powerful movements when you're in the range. Okay? Now, the next thing we have to identify is trends. Okay? So with a trend, it's clear, it's very obvious what price is trying to do. Right now, you can see beautiful pivots on this uptrend right here. Okay? We came here, we got a pivot here. Came here, settled down, then we got another surge to the upside. Came here, settled down, another surge to the upside. So we have multiple swings here. I'll use this as one swing, okay? Multiple swings here, multiple pivots, okay? Now, the top here, the top of the swings are called higher highs, okay? So that means that this high, okay, right here, is higher than this high. This high, okay, is higher than this high. So every single time it makes a pivot, it gets higher. It gets a nice surge to the upside. That tells you that we're in an uptrend. Okay, those are higher highs. Now, higher lows are just the bottom of the pivots. Okay, so here's a low here. Here's a higher low. Okay, come down here, come here. Here's a higher low where it pivot. Come here. Here's a higher low. Okay, so those are two indications that helps you to identify if you're in an uptrend or downtrend, and then you can just see it. You can see it clear as day that price is moving to the upside. So now let's look at a downtrend. Okay, downtrend is a little bit different. With a downtrend, we're looking at lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so we go here. Okay, so price pivots down to the downside, pivots up, comes down. Okay, pivots up, comes down. Pivots up again, come all the way down here. Okay, so this low here, right, is lower than this low. So this low here is lower than this low. Okay, so this low is lower than this low, and then lower than this low, and then this low here is lower than this low. So every low is lower. So every swing, right? Lower high. Okay, so these are your lower highs, right? Right? Every single time it gets lower and lower. So that tells you that we're in a nice little downtrend. These are our lower lows here. Okay? Lower lows. Every pivot is lower than the other pivot. Okay? So clear direction that the market is trying to move down. You want to trade with the trend, not against the trend. You want to trade with the trend, not against the trend, because we can clearly see the momentum of the market is that the sellers are in control. That's why the price is moving down, or the bears are in control. For the uptrend, you can see the bulls are in control. Okay, and price moves to the upside. So we want to look for buys. Okay, so now that we have a clear understanding of what to look for market conditions, okay, now we want to identify what market condition are we currently in right now. And great morning to everybody that has joined. Great morning. Great morning. Okay? Great morning. So let's see here. Let's go to recent price, right? Let's go to recent price. And let's see what type of condition we're in. Actually, I'll ask you guys, since we just had a quick little lesson. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section. We're looking at this right here on the 15-minute chart here, okay? What type of market condition are we in right now, guys? Okay? What type of market condition are we in? All right? Let me know what you guys think. What type of market condition we in? Are we in a range? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Are we consolidated? What are we in right now? Range, uptrend, downtrend, consolidation. What are we in, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. What do you think, what type of market condition we are in right now? Okay, Mary says consolidated. Okay, all right. So let's look at this. Let's go to our chart. Okay. So if we look at this price action right here, right? Price is kind of moving back and forth here. So this will be more so of a smaller range, Mary, because I know which area you're looking at. This will be a smaller range. If the candles are more so choppy like this, okay, then we're looking at that consolidation. But we have a little bit of flow here for these candles right here. Okay, a little bit of flow, not too much, but it is a flow. It is a flow. Okay, multiple sell-offs here and then multiple buys. So we're in like a small range right here. So we're probably going to see a nice little, if price wants to move, we'll probably see a nice breakout. Okay, we'll probably see a nice breakout. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's see. We have for MNQ on a 15-minute, because we are in a small range here. Let's look at our market conditions. Okay, so let's see what the rules say for that. Let's go here. Okay, so with a ranging market, this is what we see. Step 1, use the STC indicator via TradingView. So the platform where you see me, where I have the chart, is TradingView. If you want to participate and learn, you can get a free TradingView account to participate in the trades with a demo account. Okay, no risk of your real money. You can use a demo account. You can use fake money. Okay, TradingView on a 15-minute chart to determine directional bias for the day. So when price is oversold, we look for buys. When price is overbought, we look for sells. So let's go back to our chart and let's see what our STC is saying. Okay, what is our STC saying? So with our STC, we have, let's see, price is currently overbought. Okay, so with the STC, go back to the roller coaster analogy. When the STC is at the bottom, down here, if you're on a roller coaster, you're at the bottom, you're expecting for, okay, because at some point the market has to correct itself. You'll never see the market just move straight down, and you'll never see the market just move straight up. There's multiple different millions and millions of traders trading at the same time. Some think the price is going to move up. Some think the price is going to move down. Whoever has the most money, it wins the direction. Okay, so price moves up here at the bottom. So when we are oversold, we're looking for buys when price is at the bottom because we're expecting price to go up. When we're at the top here, we are overbought, so we're looking for sales. Okay, so we're overbought, so we're looking for sales. We're expecting price to go down. So because right now we are overbought right here, think of the roller coaster. Our directional bias for today is for price to go down. Okay? Price to go down. That's our directional bias, is for price to go down, to come down. So we will probably want to see price retest this area right here. Give us a nice strong bearish sell signal to take it to the downside if that's what the market wants to do. Okay? So although we have our directional bias for the market, okay? Although we have our directional bias for the market, we are still objective if the market wants to move elsewhere. Okay? So let's look at this real quick. I'm going to pull my levels up again so you guys can see where we are. All right? So we are looking at possible entry between, let me get this one out the way here. This level here, which is 21,487.50. That's the price. We're looking at a BPC rejection or confirmation at 21,487.50. We're also looking at a BPC confirmation or rejection at 21,393.25. Okay? 0.25. So, what is a BPC and how do you identify it? Okay? What is a BPC and how do you identify it? All right? So, the first thing you want to see is, what does the B mean? Okay? The B for BPC is a breakout. That's the B. Okay? The P for BPC is a pullback. Okay? Pullback. And yesterday was a beautiful example of a BPC. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then we have a C, which is continuation. Continuation. Okay? So we have a breakout, pullback, continuation. So when price gets here to this level right here, if we get a strong bullish candle that breaks out of here, right? And then let me just draw this here. Let's do that. And then we get a strong bearish candle, okay, that pulls back here, okay? But it uses this level right here as support instead of coming all the way back down, okay? Uses it as support. Remember, support is your floor, okay? So here's our pullback, and then we get our continuation, right? So with our continuation, we're looking for price to continue to move to the upside. So it looks kind of like an N, right? So that's the BPC confirmation that we will be looking at. If it's a BPC rejection, we will be looking for a M. So a N is more so BPC confirmation, and a M is more so BPC rejection. Okay, so that's BPC rejection. So with an M, you would see price breakout, pull back, and then we get rejected again. So there's two rejections. This is what we call a double top. And price comes back down into the channel, and then we look for a sell opportunity. Okay, so that's a BPC rejection on the upside. Now let's look at it on the downside. On the downside, we would look for price to break through the bottom here, okay? Here's our breakthrough. There's our pullback. Okay, I'm going to show you a pullback. So the pullback will pull back to this level of resistance here. Okay, it doesn't come all the way back in, but it comes back to this level of resistance here, right? And then it continues to go down, right? So we have our breakout. We have our pullback. And then we have our continuation. Okay, we have our continuation to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of like a backwards end, if you will. All right, but let's say, so this is your BPC confirmation because we're looking for price to continue to go to the downside. It broke past that little level of support there. Okay, now with a BPC rejection, it would look like a W, so a double bottom. So we would come down here, and then price will find support again, and then move to the upside. So it's coming back into the channel. Okay. So on the BPC rejection on the low end, we will look for buys, and on the BPC rejection on the top end, we will look for sales. But if it breaks through strong, then we'll follow the direction, right? So on this side, it will be a buy, and this side it'll be a sell. Feel free to ask questions too, guys. If you have any questions, all right. Mike said range possible consolidation. Yep, for sure. Okay, so those are the breakdowns of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, so now that we're clear on that, we're just waiting for price to give us those three confirmations. We're waiting for price to give us those three confirmations. Once we see that happen, okay, we see the breakout, we see the pullback, we see continuation, we go ahead and hop in. Even if we see the breakout pullback and we don't see a continuation, we know that we're experiencing a BPC rejection, and now we have to look in the opposite direction. Okay? We have to look in the opposite direction. So that's the breakdown of the BPC. Okay? Very important rule when trading any type of volatile pairs like NASDAQ. Okay, because these pairs typically have pretty good breakout storm market open. Okay, all right. So let's go look at. Let's see here. Let's look at yesterday's trade, because that was a great example of a BPC here. I think it was here. Yep, this was it right here, around this time right here. So let's do a replay. Okay, let's go back here, and let's see what we have. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to go to the 1 minute a little bit so we can see exactly what happened. Okay, let's go to the 5 minute to get closer to the time. Let's see. This was at, let's look at this. All right, right here. This was at 9:30, so I'm going to go back one bar right here. Okay, all right. So let's get into the detail of this trade yesterday. Let's get into the detail. So on the 1 minute, this is where we get into our entry off of the BPC, because it gets us in faster. Okay. This was a strong bullish candle that broke out of the area. Okay. So this was our breakout candle right here. Let me move this stop loss out the way so it's not confusing here. Hold on. Okay. So once we witnessed that, okay, breakout broke out of our key level. This was our key level here. 2 levels really, but we got here. Okay, so here's our breakout. There's our B. We can check that off. Now we're looking for a pullback. Okay, so this was the candle that I was looking at for the pullback. Okay, right here, that was a good pullback. But if you notice, our next couple of candles did not exceed this level. It didn't exceed this level yet. Okay, so this is where you have to be patient, because sometimes the pullback will bring you all the way back down here, but there's no entry until it closes past where it pulled back. Okay, so this is where it pulled back. We want to see the candle close above this line here where it pulled back. Okay, so let's go look at the breakdown of that. Let's see what happened with the candles. All right, there was another bullish candle. Okay, still nothing. Boom, there's our candle right here. So we had a breakout, broke past this level right here. We had a pullback, but it never came all the way down here. Okay, so it stayed in this area. And then we got a strong continuation candle that broke past this level right here. And now you'll see for the rest of the day, NAS just continued to move to the upside. Right? So I'm just going to play it out. And there's the continuation that we want. These are the moves that we are looking for right here. Continuation. Okay? Continuation. So we entered there, and then we took our profit on both TP1 and 2. So yesterday was a good day. We took 2 positions. Okay? Now, let's talk about the benefit of taking 2 positions. Let's go into that. Okay? So let's see here. Hold on one second. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. Any questions? Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything so you guys are on the same page with me. All right? No questions? All right, excellent. All right, cool. So let's get into it. So let's see. We have why is it a good thing 2 positions when trading a pair like NAS? Only if it fits within your trade plan, right? So if you're risking 350 and that one move 50, well, you only have the luxury of taking 1 position or putting in 1 contract. But if that stop loss is at 150, then or $100, then you can afford to get into 2 positions. Okay? So, here we have our breakdown here. There's our breakout, okay? There's our pullback, and then let's look at our continuation here. So, TP1 was here, somewhere in this area here. This was TP1, okay? That was TP1. TP2 was about right here, okay? TP2. So, if we're looking at this breakdown, we can clearly see, okay? We can clearly see that price has the opportunity to continue to move to the upside. We just don't know how far it's going to move. So you want to lock in your profit here, your daily profit, whatever that is, you want to lock in your daily profit here, okay? So if that's 150 or 100, whatever that is, 200, whatever, lock in your profit for the day. Okay. That second position, once TP1 hits, you want to move your stop loss. So at this point, you're in a risk-free trade. You've taken your profit for the day, and now you're just putting yourself in position to make more profit. So regardless if price comes back down or not, you can still capitalize from those huge moves. So let's see how far NAS moved, and then we'll calculate it from there. Okay? So NAS just kept going. It kept going. So let's see how far it went up by the end of the day. Let me speed it up just a little bit for you guys. Okay? So it consolidated for a little bit, and then we can see it still broke more levels. Okay? Still came up to this level here. Let's see if it breaks through here. I think it did, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yes, it broke this level right here. Still continue. Okay? So let's run some numbers here. Let's run some numbers here. Let me pause this. Okay? And we can see if you would have entered where we were to the top of this move here. Let's go look at it. Let's go to the 5 minute. Okay? If you would have entered here, this is where we entered, and rolled it all the way up here on one contract. Let's see what that would have allotted us. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick little long position simulation here. Take it to the upside here. Okay. Take profits there. So we probably would have put our stop. Let's see, we would have entered here. We could have put our stop like right here. Okay. This is a 1 to 7 risk to reward, guys. With one contract in this simulation here, you would have made $553 on top of what you already made, okay, from the first TP1. So it would have been this 550 plus, let's say, an extra 200, 250. So you would have came out that day with an $750 to $800 profit on the lowest account. Okay, this is on the lowest account. So let's tie all of this in. Let's say you get 2 days out of the week where you get a nice move like this. Okay, where you get $800 for the move. Let's talk about how you can leverage this with funding. Okay, so right now we're in a $50,000 to $750,000 challenge, and we're using Top Step as a prop firm. Okay, and so what they're saying is, if you can prove, so here's let me go back a little bit. 2 things that the traders have challenges with. They either have the skill, okay, and no money, or they have money and no skill. Okay, those are the 2 main dilemmas. So with Top Step, they say, okay, we have the money. If you can prove that you are a good trader, we'll allow you to trade off of our money. You give us a cut and you keep the rest. They win because they don't have to trade. They're making money from multiple different traders, regardless if they make the money or not. So if you're a good trader, they win because you made profits. And if you're not a good trader, well, they still win because they make money off their subscriptions. So it's a win-win situation, right? And for you, you put up minimal amount, let's say the $50, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, right? To potentially gain $5K for the month. Okay? So that's one thing. So you don't have to put up a lot to gain a lot. And if you lose, you didn't lose a lot. You didn't lose $50,000. You lost $50. Huge difference. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. Okay, so let's talk about the different levels here. Let's just focus on this 50K for right now. So if you subscribe for $50, and in this type of situation, you get funding. So normally in traditional banking, you get funding based on your credit score and, you know, how much money you have in your accounts and, you know, all of that extra stuff. Okay, but we know life happens and sometimes everybody doesn't have the luxury of leveraging their credit. But with this, you can leverage your skill. That's what's so important here. If you can just show that you're a good trader, that's your credit line. That's your credit score, is your skill set. Okay? So let's say you get this $50,000, right? And this same scenario I just walked through. You had two $800 days throughout the week. So you came out that week with $1,600. All right? What they're saying is, if you can grow this account and get $3,000 worth of profit, we're going to allow you to trade off of that $50,000. Okay? So with the $1,600, if you do this for 2 weeks, you pass the combine if you get those same scenarios. Okay? And the maximum contract you can use for the $50,000 is 5 contracts. So this is a great opportunity, y'all, to leverage what you have. So right now, we're working on scaling from 50,000 to 750,000. Okay, worth of funding. You have trader A, right? I use trader A and trader B a lot in class, but we'll just use it for this instance. Trader A put up $500 of their own money, and let's say they made 15% for that month. They made $75 in profit. Trader B, they put up $50 for the combine, get access to 50,000 because they're a good trader. They pass the combine, okay, make that same 15%, and they made $7,500 for the month. All right. So you have one person who put up their own money and put up more money, and they made less, versus this person put up $50 to get access to other people's money, OPM, all right, and to potentially make $7,500 in that month. So put up less to make more versus put up more to make less. Very easy situation here. Very easy decision to make with that. Okay? So that's why it's important to improve your skill set, because the more that you win and the more that you see these opportunities, the more you can put yourself in position to make substantial amount of money to change your circumstances. Now, I will admit that it's a process. With trading, you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, you won't see the results. That's the bottom line. It takes time because you got to get through the trading psychology aspect. You got to get through learning what certain terminology means. You got to get through navigation. You got to learn risk management. So there's levels that you have to learn. But if you continue to show up, regardless if you are familiar with trading or not, if you've never even traded before, you will be successful if you can be consistent. You will be successful if you can be consistent. Okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. So let's go back to the chart. We're 2 minutes before market open. And let's see what we have for today. Looks like price is approaching our base here. Okay, we might be looking at a BPC to the downside. All right, so we're just going to keep an eye out. We got 1:20 until the market opens. Okay, and great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning to everybody that's joined. All right. Right now we're trading NAS, and we're looking for some possible entries on the upside or downside here, just depending on whatever the market presents to us today. Okay. All right. Less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute until the market opens. Let's see what opportunities we are presented today. Okay, let's see what opportunities we are presented today. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's see. All right, 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Okay, 45 seconds. Here we go. Okay, so when we get close to our key level, that's within price range, okay, we are looking for, we navigate to the 1 minute because we want to see where we could potentially enter. Let me get my stop loss in play here so we can have a visual of where we would want to stop. So if we get an entry to the downside, my stop loss will be, let's see, this would be our first level of resistance. This would be our second level of resistance, about right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull my signals and everything up here. And let's see what we get for today. Okay, market is open. Market is open, guys. But if we get a sell, I will probably look for something like around here for the stop loss, guys. Okay. So let's see what we're presented for today. Are we going to find support in this area, or is price going to continue to come to the downside and correct itself? Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have today, guys. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me go to my 5 minute so we can see a little bit better of what's happening per candle. Okay. About 4 minutes left on this candle right here. So another little rule of thumb is we don't enter any candles until after, any trades until after 9:30. what we've learned is that when entering the market a little bit sooner, because the market open is so volatile, it can definitely change in the opposite direction while you're in the middle of a trade. Okay, so that's important to understand here. All right, so let's see if we get a sell opportunity. Let me move this down a little bit. I put it about right here. If we get a sell opportunity, how many contracts are we looking at? So my potential stop loss, guys, is 21,415.25 as of right now. That's my potential stop loss. 21,415.25. 21,415.25. 415.25 will be my stop. So right now it's not going to tell me because level. This is the level right here for the stop. Okay. But if I was to, let's see if price was down here, I think I might be able to pull off 2 contracts for this move here based on where we are. So I might put in 2 positions today, guys. If I'm within that $150 to $200 risk range, then I'll go ahead and put in 2 contracts. And so notice when I put in 2 contracts, I'm not putting in 2 here. I'm putting 1, then I click sell, and then I put 1 again and I click sell. Okay, so that's important because each position will have different levels for take profit. Now the stop loss will be the same, but the take profit will be different. All right, it looks like we're trying to find support here. Let's see. We still have 2 minutes left on this candle, though. So it's still early. It's still early on this candle. So let's see what we get for this. But right now, that's what we're looking at. Okay? That is what we are looking at. So let's see here. We got 1:45. I don't know. It might be trying to find support. We have been on a nice strong uptrend, right? We zoom out here, see consolidation ranging, but overall, Nas has been trying to move up. It's been trying. Right? So we'll see. Sorry about all those levels there, but gotta have your key levels when you're trading. If you're not setting your key levels before you start trading, you're doing it wrong. You have to have your key levels marked off so you can know your caution areas or potential entry areas. You have to have your key levels. That's so important. All right. So here we go. 50 seconds. 50 seconds, guys, until the market opens. And we're going to get this thing moving and grooving, guys. Let's see if we get an opportunity somewhere around here. Okay, but if you see, it looks like it's finding support like it did in the past, right? So if we see here, when price came down to this area, what did it do? It pushed up. Price came back down to this area. We got a nice W here. What did it do? It pushed up. So it might be trying to do the same thing here. Came back to the same area and try to push up, but we'll see. We got to let the candle close. Always let the candle close. Never make a permanent decision off of an indecisive candle. Don't get into a trade if the trade has not decided what it wants to do. Okay, that's so important. Don't say, hey, this is a sell when it hasn't even closed yet, or this is a buy and it hasn't even closed yet. All right, here we go. Looks like we're coming down. Let's see if price comes down this area. What I'm looking for is a BPC past this area right here. Okay, BPC confirmation past this area right here. If we don't, and we get a rejection, well, look at the buy that we have here for a good entry. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We still have a lot of time left on this candle here. We still have a lot of time left on this candle. So it's going to be really interesting how price reacts at this 21,393 level right here. Are the sellers going to have enough strength to push price, or are the buyers going to be able to move to the upside. Let's look at our volume order flow to see how much money is in the market, moving in the market right now. Let's see how much money is moving in the market right now. This is kind of like a little confluence to kind of see what we are looking at right now. We can see that there are more sellers coming into the play here. Okay, past this level right here, there aren't too many buyers. There aren't any buyers here. Let's go look at it from a higher time frame. I like to look at it from the 1 hour. The 1 hour really paints a clear picture for me. Okay, so with the 1 hour, looking at the volume order flow, right where we are, there's more buyers than sellers. $1.4 million worth of buys versus $626,000 worth of sales. Okay. If we break past this level here, we still have a lot of buyers that are in control. So we might be finding support soon, guys. There aren't any sellers in control right now at all. So we have to be cautious of that, okay? Let's go back to our 5 minute. I'm going to take this off, this volume order flow here. And let's see what we get here. We already see that this candle found support. Let's see if this large wick right here tells me that there are definitely a lot of buyers sitting there, and they're really trying to use this level as support versus allowing price to push to the downside. But again, those are order flows based on the past 70 candles, I'd say. So we'll see if more people get involved in this moment, more buyers and sellers getting more involved in this moment based on where price is. Okay. All right. So we're getting a nice little bearish candle here. Again, we gotta let it close though. All right. I'm going to my 1 minute now, guys, because we're close to this area now. So now what I'm looking for is a breakout candle. I'm looking for a breakout candle. I'm gonna go ahead and get my sell ready just in case. Okay, my potential stop loss is 21415.25. 21415.25 is my potential stop. Okay. Wow. We got a nice little fake out there. So this is why it's so important to wait, guys. Look at this. This wick came down here and now it's reversing. So that was an extreme fake out there. So let's go look. Because what I'm looking at on the 1 minute is definitely a W. But we'll see. Because what also could be happening is I see a W here, right, to push to the upside. But what could also be happening is that we could be doing this right here. We could be doing this right here. So let's figure out what the market is trying to tell us what it wants to do. I'm going to go back to the 5 minute here. Okay, so we can kind of comb out the noise there. But this definitely looks like now more so a buy opportunity than a sell. We do get a buy opportunity. 1 level of support, 2 levels of support. About right here will be my stop loss if we get a buy opportunity. If we get a sell opportunity, then it'll be somewhere up in here. Okay, 415. Okay, so we'll see what happens. We're going to be patient and we're going to let it come to us. Okay, but this thing has to break out at some point. We'll be on here till about 10:15, just depending on how the market moves, to see if we can find an opportunity. Okay, and great morning to everybody that's joined. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay, here we go. All right, I think we might be moving to the upside here. Might be moving to the upside. Let's see. We're going to be patient. Let it close out. And so if we're experiencing a BPC rejection, what we're doing is looking for a buy or sell signal based on that area. So in this case, if it does want to find support, we would look for our buy signal on the 5 minute. Okay, but if it's a BPC confirmation, then we just look for our price action. Okay, we're coming back down again. All right, let's go take a look. Let me go to the 1 minute. Coming back down. Let's see if we can get a breakout this time. Let's see if we can get a breakout. Okay, so we get our stop loss at 21,000 for, let me see, right above this little level right here. 21,419.75. 21,419.75. Okay? So let's see if yeah, I really think we can get I could probably put in 2 positions for this one. Okay? Remember, the second position is like icing on the cake. If TP1 hits, then you want to bring that other position to break even, so you're at a no loss situation. And then if price continues to drop, well, you have the opportunity to take advantage of that move. Okay? Very important to remember. Wow. I don't know, guys. We might be in consolidation. We might just be in consolidation. Price retested this area 3 times. Same thing here. And we didn't get any movement. We didn't get any movement. And the candles are starting to look choppy now. So we'll see. We shall see. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. 20 seconds left on this candle, guys. 20 seconds. Not that much movement right now. We don't have any news today, so let's see if we can get a breakout today. We had a nice little move yesterday, so we'll see if we can get the same move today. We'll have to figure that out, but right now, not too much movement. Okay. We need some type of confirmation on it, especially on this downside. We need that BPC confirmation before we enter anything. It looks like it's trying to come back down and retest, but we'll see. If we don't see anything in the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to call it a no trading day. One thing that we're not going to do is force anything. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, that's fine. But you don't want to force anything. Let it come to you. Let it come to you. We are definitely consolidated right now, though, guys. We are definitely consolidated. What Mary was talking about earlier, that consolidation, this is what we're experiencing right now. Mary said, looks like we're coming down. Yeah, that's what it looks like, but we'll see. What y'all think we getting into, a buy or sell today? What y'all think? A buy or a sell today? It's looking real shaky right now. Real shaky. Let's see what it wants to do. Can we get a break here? Let's see. Let's get in closer. See what we got going on here. Let's see if we can get a break right here. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. This candle could break us through, though. Let's see if it has enough strength. Okay. Here's our break. Let's see if it closes beneath this line right here. If it closes beneath this line, I'm waiting for pullback and then our continuation here. Okay. Let me look at it on the 5 minute to see if this is a BPC. Yeah, this is a BPC. Breakout, pullback, continuation. Okay, let's go to the 1 minute. All right. 7 seconds here, guys. It could continue to go down, but I'm looking for my setup, guys. I need my pullback. I'm not going to just jump into this. Okay. Okay, so this will be considered a pullback here because it came back above this candle right here. So this will be considered a pullback right here. Okay. Now let's see if we can get some continuation on the next candle. 35 seconds left on this candle right here. There's the pullback. There's the pullback. That's what I wanted to see right here. Got to see the pullback. There's our pullback. Very nice pullback. It stayed under this resistance level right here. So that's a good pullback. All right, now let's see if we get continuation. Okay, continuation. I want that candle to break past here. I want that candle to break past here for my continuation. Let's see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and copy. So I'm going to bring my stop loss down now, guys, because here's one level of resistance. Here's two. So I can put my stop loss right here. So my potential stop loss is 21,407.25. 21,407.25 is my potential stop loss. Okay. 21,407.25. TP1 and TP2 in a minute, but let's see if we can get in first. But that's my potential break pass here. I'm getting in. If I don't, I'm not getting in. Okay. Based on where we are right now, I'm only risking about $70. So by the time I get right here, probably like $100. That's a good setup for me. I'm going to put in 2 positions. Let's see if we can. Got a break. Clean break. That's what I need to see. A clean break right here. 10 seconds. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if the sellers can push through. Not quite. Let's see if this next one is it. Clean break. $45 seconds on this candle right here. Not yet. Nothing yet. $20 seconds. 20 seconds left on this candle. Wow. Nothing yet, guys. Are we finding support here? Wow. That was an extreme fake out right there. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so now we got to revamp some things now. Okay, because if we get this tweezer right here, there's a high chance that price can continue to the upside here. That is a strong push by the bulls. Remember, I told you on a higher time frame based off our order flow, there were more buyers in this area. So it looks like they're coming into play now. Looks like they're coming into play. All right, so let's start looking at a buy because this is clearly a BPC. We're seeing a BPC rejection now, guys. Okay. Nice W here. Double top, double bottom. Okay. And let's see how this candle closes. I might just go ahead and get in and not even wait for the alert, to be honest with you guys, just based on what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. Let's see how it closes. If this thing engulfs this red candle here, I'm taking a buy. I'm going to go ahead and take a buy if it engulfs it. Okay. Where would my stop loss be? Let's see. First level of support. Second level of support be right up under here. So we will be looking at 21,388.75. 388.75. 21.75. 388.75. 70. Oh yeah, I like that setup. All right, let's see how it closes. It's got 42 seconds left on this candle right here. I like this a lot for a buy if it closes. And I'm going to go ahead and take it if it does. Yeah. I'm going to take this if it closes out strong here, which it looks like it is. 10 seconds. And I got enough fuel to get in for 2 positions as well. All right, guys, I'm in a buy. Okay, I'm in a buy, and I'm getting in position. Same thing. Okay, in a buy. So both of my stops are in the same position, but my take profits will be different. So TP1 will be right here at the top of this range right here. Okay, I'll mark it in a minute. And then TP2 is going to be at the top, this level right here. Okay, so those are my 2 positions right there. All right, so now let's go take a look at it. Let's see, TP1 is at, let's see, 21,477. Okay. And then, let's see, we have for TP2, 21,000, let's see, 21,540. 21,540.25. Okay. Those are my two positions. So altogether, I'm probably risking around $160. Nothing crazy. No big deal. Okay. All right. So let's see how this thing plays out for us. So we're getting a little pushback here, which is to be expected. And if we look here to the left, this was past support here. Found support here multiple times. So yes, we are going to experience some resistance from this level right here. Okay. But let's see if we get some resistance, and then we can continue to push up to see if the buyers can continue to take control of this market condition right here. All right. So we have our stop in order and play, and we're going to let this thing ride out. Okay. I'll stay on for another 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll see how we do. Okay. We'll see how we do. We have 2 minutes and 35 seconds left on this candle. Let's go to the 1 minute and see what we have here. I think we should move. You know what? I'm going to move my stop down a little bit, guys. I'm going to move it down here to 21,000. Now that I'm looking at it on the 1 minute, 21,375 is where I'm going to put the stop. 21,375 is a stop right here. 21,375. Stop loss has been adjusted to 21,375. Okay, stop loss is adjusted to 21,375. I'll also put that here. Stop loss adjusted 21,375. That's where I place my stop loss right there. Just to give it a little bit more breathing room. I don't want it to come down here, use this as support, and then we get tapped out, and then it moves to the upside. Now, if it breaks through that, then we're probably heading into a different direction. But for right now, that's where my stop loss, 21,375. Okay. So we have 2 minutes. So 10 o'clock, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And we'll see how this thing do it. And pretty much just manage it here. The levels are already there, 21,477. Okay, and then we have 21,000. Where are we? 21,540 for the other one. Okay, so those are the two levels right there. So let's see what we get. Sellers are trying to push through, but let's see if we can find a bounce right here for the buyers. Okay. Let's see if we can find a bounce here for the buyer. So I'm glad that the stop loss was adjusted, but let's see if we can still hold that support there, though. Okay, let's see if we can still hold that support. Okay. All right, guys. So it's about 10 o'clock now. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure you like, subscribe. All the students are in the channel. I'll keep you updated on the trade in the private channel. And we're going to continue to let this thing build and grow out. Okay. So make sure you, like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, share this out. We'll be here again Tuesday, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for joining. Look forward to connecting with you guys next week.